Welcome to another video. Still continuing the discontinued topic, which you guys seem to like. So we're going to do the part 3 today. Of course, you know it if you want to see a part 4, which if I do a part 4 will be all about niche discontinued fragrances, or recently announced that they were discontinued. So if you want to know about the niche fragrances, be sure to leave it in a like. If this video again hits at least 500 likes or more, I'll come back with a part 4 for you guys. If it's 1,000 or more, I'll come back with a part 5, which will also include some other designers that have been recently discontinued or announced that will no longer be a part of these companies. So if you guys want to know why companies normally discontinue fragrances, the most common situations where fragrances become discontinued, check out the link up here, which will be the part 1, where I go in depth about discontinuation. But no further discussion here. Let's get right into the discontinued fragrances that I'll be sharing with you today. Some incredible gems here that I sorely miss already, and I know you will too. Kicking things off here with a incredible brand, Yves Saint Laurent. Of course, reformulation is a big issue, but discontinuation seems to be even worse nowadays. Opium is the fragrance we're talking about. This is the EDP concentration, which has been discontinued a long time ago. I believe it was released originally in the 80s or early 90s. It is no longer available. It's an incredible oriental woody fragrance. Amazing, amazing fragrance. You can't find it. When you do find it, the parfum version is extremely expensive. But the one we're talking about today is actually the EDT, the Eau de Toilette, which was still available and actually a cheapie that you can easily find on a lot of discount websites. This has now been axed from their portfolio of fragrances. Yves Saint Laurent, as of now, is really restructuring and revamping their portfolio, really trying to cater to a younger demographic. So a lot of these classic fragrances, such as this one, have been axed. So I highly suggest and recommend to you guys, if you do enjoy this stuff and you think you're going to miss it, really pull the trigger now if you can, because as we get into the 2020s, it's going to be harder and harder to find, and you're going to see little fragrances like this fetching $200, $300, $400 easily in the next few years, 5-10 years to come. For those of you that don't know the DNA or the scent character of this amazing fragrance, this is going to be a great woody, spicy / oriental fragrance, which has a ton of spices up top: cinnamon, cloves, blackcurrant, anise, but also has this amazing woody base which has some green tinges to it, but it's really mainly around the note of cedar, which is, I love cedar fragrances, and this is definitely a masterpiece, guys. Check this out if you can. If you really love this fragrance, if you know this scent character, you know how timeless and classy and elegant this really is. By the way, I'm always going to try to give you guys a fragrance that you can actually replace this fragrance with. There's a fragrance from Penhaligon's which has the same kind of scent profile, and it's called Penhaligon's L9. I'll pop it up here. I'll put it on the transition for you guys so you can see what the fragrance looks like. It is very similar to this one, so I actually own that fragrance as well from Penhaligon's, because I kind of knew this was going to be phased out of Yves Saint Laurent's portfolio. So if you guys like this fragrance like myself, definitely check out L9, which is in the same vein, perhaps a little bit spicier, a little bit more resinous, but in the same vein as this one. Next up, we have a fragrance from Calvin Klein, which I hardly ever talk about CK fragrances here. They haven't really done anything outstanding over the past few years, but in 2015 they actually released something that was quite unique and really nice, kind of groundbreaking, but really didn't get much talk here in the fragrance community. Hence the fact that no one really talked about, because I know 2014 and 2015 both were great years for designer releases. Nowadays, not so much. Everyone's kind of following the trends, but again, a conversation for a different video. But this particular fragrance it's gone. It's still available. You can still find this as a cheapie in some places where I found this before I shot this video, but it's getting harder and harder, and the prices will continue to go up. This is Reveal by the house of Calvin Klein. Now, this particular fragrance is just outstanding. It smells great. I love this fragrance. It combines this sea note, which is, it's got this like marine kind of a vibe to it. It's not an aquatic fragrance, believe it or not, but it's got this sea salt / seaweed kind of a vibe, which is quite weird, but in a good way, because as you wear this, as it meshes with your body chem, it just becomes something really special. I love the fragrance. I really love the cap, which is like this really metal. It says Reveal by Calvin Klein right here on the corner. I think they did a quite good job with this fragrance. This has a vibe, if you fuse both of these fragrances, plus this marine vibe that I'm talking about. If you took Ultramol from Jean Paul Gaultier and mashed it with CH Men Privé, and gave this ambergris, sea salt vibe to the fragrance. That's what I get with this fragrance right here. Very special, very nice, very different, long-lasting, very powerful stuff. Leaves a tremendous sillage. If you spray your clothes like myself, it's going to last the whole day, and you're definitely going to get positive remarks with this. 3 things I love about this fragrance. It has the leather that I talked about. It has this brandy liqueur kind of a vibe, and also a beautiful ambery dry down. Amazing, guys. Get it while you can, because it's going to be one fragrance that I think will have a cult following, and it's going to be one of those obscure designer fragrances that with time will fetch a pretty penny, guys. Check out CK Reveal from Calvin Klein. Really good stuff. Next up, I'm going to talk to you guys about a line that has been phased out and completely axed from this particular designer brand, which is really a car brand, which you guys know my 2 favorites are Bentley and Ferrari, and today we're talking about Ferrari. Thank God. I would not be happy if they discontinue any of the Bentley from in line, because that's like my favorite. But this one here wasn't far behind, guys, and I talked about this whole collection for you guys, and it's not the Scuderia, because the Scuderia collection is still available today, but this one here is going to be the Essence collection, which I reviewed for you guys. I talked about the whole collection, the entire collection. I'll put the link up here so you guys can check out. And on that video, I talked about the quality, the performance, and the price point, because back then, we're talking 4 or 5 years ago, this stuff could be had for like 26, 30 bucks. Now, not so much. It's getting harder to find. You can still find a couple of these references, and I would highly suggest and urge you guys to get them right now, because again, it's going to be another one that's going to be very hard to find very soon, and it's again going to be eye-gouging prices out there. So if you don't want to go through that, I know this particular one is still available out there, Radiant Bergamot, and I think this one here can easily also be found, which is Bright and Early. These 2 are great for spring and summertime. There's a fig one, I think it's called Noble Fig. There's a cedar one. I mean, there's a ton of great ones. And if you want the darker stuff for like fall and winter, I think these are incredible. This is the Oud one, and this, of course, my favorite, which is the Leather Essence, guys. This stuff here, long-lasting, smells great. The price point was incredible. I mean, as a whole proposition, the powerful, the scents themselves, and the price point was really a no-brainer for any collection out there. So get it while you can. It's still, some of these are still available out there, so I'll have link below to the stuff that you can still find, and the other ones you might still be able to find on eBay or Amazon, but don't go crazy paying $100, $200 for this stuff. It is good, but I don't think it's that good of a price. But again, if you wait too long, even the ones that are still available and attainable today will become harder to find and even expensive at that. So again, link below to all of these. If you could still find them, I'll have it linked below. As I always like to help you guys and make your life easier, that's what I do here. So I'll do for you guys on the Essence collection as well. But understand that this whole collection has been axed, so in time, it'll be all completely gone. Next up, we're going to talk about a designer house that is one of my favorite designer houses, definitely in the top 10. The Gentleman line gets a lot of talks and a lot of hype here in the fragrance community, rightfully so. They are great. But there was a time that they had a play collection, a play line of fragrances that I truly loved, and the person that would do the ads for them and was their golden boy, if you will, was Justin Timberlake. And there were a couple ads with this particular fragrance that made me really look at this fragrance back in 2008, 2009 when I started wearing this fragrance. And of course, I'm talking about Givenchy Play Intense. This is going to be a woody, spicy / oriental coffee-based scent. It's an outstanding fragrance, guys. It's incredible. I mean, I'm going to wear this today. I haven't sprayed anything yet, so this will be my scent of the day. It is intoxicating, mesmerizing, appealing, sensual, sexy, alluring. I mean, whatever adjectives you want to include here, this fragrance has. It's got this chocolatey patchouli mashed with spices and coffee. Think of a latte, a really nice, macchiato from Starbucks. That's what I get with this fragrance. I wear this for many years, from 2009, 2010, all the way until about 2015, when I stopped talking about this fragrance because it was getting harder and harder to find. Now it's really hard. I found this bottle here, this big bottle, 100 ml, at fragrancebuy.ca. Of course, I'm going to have it linked below. I think they're going to get it in stock again. It might be sold out by the time you're watching this. It has truly been discontinued, guys, and I found this in many places for over 200 bucks. This is an incredible fragrance, guys. It has Amiris wood, it has patchouli, vetiver, tonka bean, coffee, the spices that I talked about. An incredible fragrance, guys. You can still find this out there. I perhaps wouldn't pay 200 bucks, but I mean, if I didn't have this one in the backup bottle, maybe I would if I missed it too much, because it is that good, guys. I'm not saying for you guys to blind buy this at this price point, $200 plus, or even at $100 plus, but I would gladly pay $125 to $150 for this fragrance, because I'm telling you, it puts a lot of fragrances that are out there today in the designer game to shame. This stuff here is fire. And speaking of fire fragrances, over the past, 2-3 years, I've been really diving into oud fragrances and really liking oud fragrances. They really agree with my skin. Depending on the kind of oud fragrances that we're talking about here, if we're talking animalistic, medicinal, fecal oud fragrances, not so much. But if it's blended really well with spices and some floral components, for some reason, the woods, they just come to fruition with my body chemistry and just makes it for this really intoxicating and elegant scent profile for me. And of course, today I'm talking about a fragrance that I'm very, very sad to say that it has been discontinued, and it is the best Gucci fragrance of all time. I'd say in the top 3 best Gucci fragrances, including, of course, Envy, but this one here doesn't stay far behind, guys. It would definitely make my top 5 Guccis of all time. This is Gucci Oud Intense or Intense Oud. This stuff here, very, very sadly, has been discontinued. It has been replaced by Gucci Guilty Oud, which is not too bad. I have actually reviewed that for you here on the channel. I'll leave it up here, and also have reviewed this fragrance for you, and I'll also leave it up here. But in comparison, that fragrance will perish. This stuff here is just so much better. So much so that people compare this to Search Off More Than Words. They compare this to Black Afghano from Nasomato. It is that good. It is that powerful. It's going to be that resinous oud facet that is embellished by fruity accords like raspberry and pear, along with spices. The rose is definitely here. It's definitely a rose and oud combo, but done to perfection, guys. This is classy, it's elegant, it's sophisticated, it's powerful. We're talking 12 plus hours. I mean, if you spray your clothes, it's gonna be there the next day. Projects like a beast. Released in 2015. It was, discontinued, I wanna say 3 years ago in 2018. You could still find this out there here and there, and again, I'll have it linked below where I found this. Perhaps it's not gonna be in stock right now. You can find this very, very, very seldomly, very hard in some discount websites here and there. It's going to fetch a pretty penny. Even if you find it at the discount website, it's going to be in the mid to high hundreds. But in my opinion, it is well worth it, unless you can find, of course, a partial bottle like this at the Facebook groups where we do trades and swaps, like my group, for example, sales swaps and trades, Inform of Sense Facebook group, and other fragrance related Facebook groups. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again, talking about Discontinued Fragrances Part 3. If you guys want to continue to see the series, I can talk about Discontinued Niche Snacks. Again, just leave it on the like. 500 likes or more, I'll do the Part 4. 1K likes or more, I'll do the Part 3 and the Part 4, which will include a lot of other great designer fragrances that have been recently discontinued or announced that they will no longer be a part of these particular companies. So again, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for all your support. Leave a like, just regardless of more videos or not, just because you appreciate what I do here, and I do truly appreciate all of you, and the likes really make a difference here on the channel. Subscribe it if you haven't already. I think there's about 62% of you guys watching my videos regularly that have not subscribed to the channel yet. Please do. It makes a huge difference on what I do here. It makes me feel like I'm appreciated. And of course, guys, leave comments, share the video with other people that can benefit from this, and touch the little bell icon so you get videos like these straight into your feed. As always, guys, remember, fragrance is emotion in motion. It's an extension of who you are. Whatever you choose to wear it well, and of course, wear what truly moves you, guys. Of course, I will see you right back here again with another review or top video or discontinued video very soon. Take care.